All right, welcome into episode 1 of the RF Properties Podcast. I'm your host, Bruce Faulk.
And I'm your co-host, Justin Roberts.
Today, we're just going to introduce ourselves a little bit and talk about who we are, how we're different as a real estate brokerage,
Yep.
what we do to help our clients achieve their goals,
Yep.
and just kind of our backgrounds in general.
Yep. Just a little introduction, and then the next few episodes, we got some pretty jam-up guests coming on. It's going to be real exciting, but
Stay tuned.
this is getting it started. So
Yeah.
why don't you kick us off on your background and
All right.
go from there?
So I was raised in rural southeast Alabama in Geneva County, down south of Samson, the big town of Samson, about 2,000 people. Went to high school there, grew up, was fortunate enough to grow up on a timber farm, big hunting piece of land, and grew up hunting, fishing, just anything outdoors, camping. Anyway, graduated from high school there and went off to Auburn University. I studied agricultural business and economics. After that, got hired right out of college with a big investment company, a big Fortune 500 company. Worked there for a couple of years. Ran a branch in Eufaula, Alabama, and lived there. Enjoyed the Lake Eufaula, of course. Here in Alabama, it's known for bass fishing and all that. So spent a couple of years there. Then moved to Dothan, where I worked at Alabama Ag Credit, which is part of the farm credit system. Worked there for about 5 years. That's how I really got started in land and, just kind of financing land tracts and farms and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And that's how we met. Was through that. And Justin at the time was doing a lot of land sales and was sending me majority of his business, and I was able to take care of his clients and
did a very good job.
I appreciate that.
What was that? 4 years ago now? 4 years ago?
Let's see, that I left there in 2022, so it's 2 years ago
That we met.
Oh, that we met. Yeah, that was 20. That was probably 20.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Yeah, that was about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking somewhere along those lines. Yep. So you transition.
Yeah, I worked at a commercial bank about a year and a half, and that wasn't really my jam. So you and I got talking, and you were looking to make a change, and so was I. So we decided to start our own brokerage, and here we are.
Yeah, it's been a very great partnership.
Yeah, we've been running for a year now.
Yeah,
a little over a year.
Yeah, starting to pick up a lot of speed. Got a
to
lot of exciting things coming up that we'll dive into later. But running through my background real quick, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty of it. I'm originally from Georgia. Mom worked at Fort Rucker, so we moved to Dothan in I think around 2011. Went to Dothan High, graduated from there in 2016. I relocated to New Brockton. My wife, her family's originally from New Brockton, and we were dating at the time, high school sweethearts. Yeah, moved out there, really fell in love with the area, knew this is where I wanted to be. At the time, both of us were wedding photographers and videographers. I actually started that business in high school as a kind of like a hobby project, filming my hunts, and it turned into my friend's mom asked me if I would film a wedding for them, filmed a wedding for them. And then it just kind of spiraled from there, traveled the country filming hunts for different TV shows, outfitters, my own thing. The wife and I did the hunting social media for a while, and we're fairly successful on it. Then kind of started to hone our business in more locally, got tired of being on the road traveling.
Yeah.
So started filming a lot of local commercials, more local weddings, and got introduced through my brother-in-law to a local builder here and started doing pictures and video of their houses. And at that time, I was doing the photography and videography, but I was also starting up a media company. So social media ads, SEO management, anything digital, that's kind of what I was running. So that transitioned into me running that for them, and started getting so busy running their stuff that they're like, hey, why don't you get your license and go ahead and sell houses for us? You're already running everything for us. So it seemed like a no-brainer to me. My mom has been a property manager for 30 years now, or close to 30 years. So real estate's always been in the family, always talked about, really familiar with it. So decided to take the leap. I got my license first, and then Hannah got her license, and we both started tackling that. I was really good at the land acquisition side, finding the land that needed to be developed or finding the site for somebody that was looking to build their custom home, the perfect layout for them. And I really, being a hunter, land is what I'm passionate about. So I figured out there was a few guys out there that specialize in just land, and I was like, Hannah, I kind of want to try this. So sat down, had a long talk about it, and decided we were gonna dive off into that realm and see where it took us. So transferred to a different brokerage here locally that specialized in a little bit more land. They weren't solely land focused. Learned a lot there. Fantastic experience. But in the back of my mind, I always knew that I kind of wanted to do my own thing. The level of service out there, I don't really know how to say it. It's not up to my standard. I feel like everywhere you go, real estate is put into a box of very generic marketing, very generic templates. And I believe that every property, not just properties, but every client deserves a specialized approach. And using my knowledge of social media, digital media, video, print marketing, all that, I can really utilize that to be a resource to the community.
Yeah.
And you and I got to talking about all of it, and you aligned exactly. You told me that you really felt there was a need in the market for this, and
Yeah.
you were talking to me and didn't even know that I was thinking about the same thing. And I was like, well, let me
Funny how that worked.
let me fill you in on something. So here we are now.
Yeah. Yeah. So just in the finance world, was able to work with a lot of really good real estate agents, and they probably know who they are. And they're still out there doing a jam up job, and they always will.
No doubt.
And we like working with them. There are some that could do a lot better, and just didn't give the service to the clients that the dollar amount that they were paying them deserved.
Absolutely.
Just straight up.
100%.
I mean,
100%. It's like the stereotypical you see on social media when people comment and say, all real estate agents are good for is opening doors and doing this other stuff.
yeah.
That is the category that they fall into. And it is sad. It's sad because most people don't get the experience of what it's like to actually work with a good agent.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to change.
Yep. We're trying to raise the bar on what it means to be a land agent, a real estate agent.
Yeah. Not just a land agent, we do more. We have our brokerage specifically, we're land focused. That's what we're passionate about. But we have divisions. I have a commercial real estate background, so we're trying to work off in a division that's solely focused on commercial real estate, solely focused on land, and then rural residential homes. So we're trying to piece out these three divisions where we have a group of people really focused and honed in on that. And I really think that's going to just increase that higher level of service, because you don't have one agent that's focused on trying to do three different things.
Yeah, and I think the rural part is the most important.
Absolutely.
Of that. And, you can buy and sell houses in Atlanta or Birmingham or Montgomery or Mobile all day, every day.
Yep.
It takes a special kind of buyer to buy these houses in these real small towns.
Yep.
And that's where we really provide value to our clients is we do the marketing, we cast the wide net. We'll talk about a little bit more about that later.
Yeah.
But we really showcase this as a destination.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever we list a property, whether it's land, house, commercial, we come together as our team and decide what is the best route to market this property. Like right now, we have a listing coming up close to Troy, and we were just sitting down talking about, all right, what lifestyle does this property represent? What buyer is this going to fit best, and how can we market to that specific buyer? And that not only is putting more money in the seller's pocket by reaching more of the right type of buyer, but it's also connecting with the person buying it, educating them on what the property is actually like, and seeing if it's something that they truly like.
They know what they're getting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sometimes people have buyer's remorse.
No doubt.
And real estate's no different.
No doubt.
We try to head that off as much as we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't want to undersell something, But at the same time, we want the buyers to know what they're getting, and so they'll be happy with it.
Yeah.
And they won't come back to us and say, hey, wish I wouldn't have bought that property.
Yeah.
That's not good for anybody.
No, not at all. And especially too, we're trying to put everything out there to where when somebody looks at a property on our website, they know exactly what they're getting before they show up there. Really, when they're coming to see one of our properties in person, it's just so they can physically lay their eyes on it. Not much is going to change for them. We don't do any crazy editing trying to hide stuff. And we take, this is a huge problem. And if you're a real estate agent listening to this, do better. But if somebody lists a property and they only have one picture of it, let's say it's some land and it's one picture, like a screenshot of the GIS map, how can anybody tell what that is? That's terrible.
That drives me nuts.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's not fair to your seller. It's not fair to buyers, because you're talking about in a rural area. Most of the time, whenever you're going to look at a property, you're driving 30, 40, 50 an hour, to these properties. So you're having this person ride all the way out here in hopes that this may fit their needs, and then get out there and realize that it's an overgrown clear cut, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
needs a lot of work to be able to even enjoy.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I'm going to start getting heated if I keep talking about that.
It's not killer.
Not acceptable.
Well, and you said that, coming from an hour away. Well, some of them come from 10 hours away.
Yeah, no doubt. They deal with a lot of out-of-state buyers.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a guy recently put a property under contract. People from out of state, and I had a couple other people out of state look at it. It's just, you never know. They're from a long ways away.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You want them to know what they're getting, and try to obviously want to present the property in the best light we can, but at the same time, we want the people to know what to expect.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the same goes for our agents. Like how I was just saying, if you're an agent out there and that's unacceptable, if you work for our company, that is absolutely unacceptable. But we have teams and systems in place that handle the marketing for agents, and really alleviates that stress from them, so they can be focused on selling your property or helping buyers.
We have a system in place that
pretty jam up.
Yeah,
it's pretty impressive. And that's really what I'm passionate about. Is when I first got into real estate, before I was even before I was licensed and I was working with that builder, the agents in the office, whenever I would go into their office, they would ask me for help just based on my knowledge of digital media. And that's always been a passion of mine, to help agents and take them to that next level. So the more and more I got involved in real estate, the more and more people would reach out to me. I've had, 20, 30 agents from other companies reach out to me like, hey, can you help me with this? Can you teach me this? Yada, yada, yada. And I absolutely love it. But that was one of the reasons that I wanted to start a brokerage, is because whenever I got started, it was all these grand promises about, hey, get your license. We'll help you do this, 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 and this. Got my license, and then it was like the crickets chirping. Absolutely no help. I remember the first buyer I ever had, I went and showed him my property, and he wanted to make an offer. I had no idea what paperwork to fill out. Nothing. I was literally sweating, like my anxiety through the roof. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. Asking agents for help, and they're like, yeah, we'll come in there and help you, but it's going to be a 40% referral fee. I just don't think that's fair. These agents are coming in to learn and build off the brand of your company. So we have systems in place now that as soon as you start with us, you start immediately getting trained up. We have content that continually comes out. You're very involved with both me and Bruce, and whatever your specific goals are, we lay out a plan to specifically achieve those goals. And it has been proven with some of our agents already. If you follow the plan, anything is possible.
That's right up my alley. I like helping people. I really like adding value. Mm-hmm. That's the V word, value. Just to be clear, value.
Yeah, no doubt.
Is a big deal to me, because that's what I've tried to do my whole career.
Yeah.
Is add value.
Yeah. And really with this brokerage, I told Hannah when we were starting, I want something that is a resource to the community that people can actually get behind and support. And that's not just home buyers and sellers, that's agents, mortgage lenders, everybody that's involved in the real estate process.
Yeah. Secretaries.
Yeah, absolutely. I want RF Properties to be a hub that helps anybody in any way possible.
I agree. 100%.
All right. So let's dive off into the marketing. You don't have a marketing background like I do, but you've been
No, I do not.
you've been introduced to all of it lately.
Yeah.
So from the outside looking in, what would you say is the marketing advantages of RF Properties?
We cast the widest net of anybody, and I like fishing, so excuse me for the fishing references.
Yeah, and not to cut you off real quick, but when he says we cast the widest net, we have the numbers. I'll show you the numbers.
We'll prove it.
We can back it up.
I'll tell you right now, the last video I did on one of my listings is up to 4.6 thousand views. That's 4,600 views.
Yeah.
4,600, over 4,600 people have put their eyes on that property.
Yeah.
So
Just in that one specific place.
just in that one place, that one video.
Yeah.
And it's been, I think, 2 months since I posted it.
Yeah.
So if you got better numbers than that, let's see them.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. Didn't mean to cut you off, but wanted to know what we're saying is the truth. I will back it up.
We can back it up. So to me, from the outside looking in, kind of, which I'm on the inside now, but at one point I was on the outside. Mm-hmm. When you list a piece of property, the best thing to do that you could possibly do for your clients is to find them the right buyer that's willing to pay them the most money and close the quickest.
Absolutely.
So how do you do that?
Lots of marketing.
Lots of marketing.
Specialized marketing.
Specialized marketing, national marketing.
Yeah.
You throw the net, the buyers are your fish. The net is your marketing, and you're the seller. If you're the fisherman, you're the seller. You're throwing the wide net. You're getting the most fish, and whichever one of the biggest fish out of those, we're going to keep it.
Yeah. And our standard marketing net, what some people's highest level of marketing is. Like, if it doesn't matter the price of your property, if we list your property, we are coming out, we're going to create a specialized, tailored plan specific to your property and how we're going to handle it.
Yeah.
That's going to be TikTok videos, Instagram reels, YouTube videos, obviously the MLS. Everybody does that. Different social platforms, print marketing. How are we going to handle it? Not to mention our world-class website that we have a team constantly working on the SEO, pushing each and every listing. The biggest
SEO stands for search engine optimization.
Yep, absolutely. And
I had to learn that.
It plays a big role. But the biggest thing around that is the world is moving into it. I mean, it already is digital media based, but it's continuing to go that direction. But for some reason, real estate hasn't fully moved on board with that like some of the other industries. And that's really what we're trying to change. Like, we just listed 15 acres. Austin Campbell's the listing agent on that.
One of our fantastic agents.
Absolutely. He works extremely hard. He's actually at a closing right now, so shout out to Austin. But
You the man, Austin.
But we went out, we made a plan for this property. We've got it on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and all of those platforms as different types of content that we've cut up and specialized for this. And don't quote me on the specific numbers, but the last time I looked at it, the total reach on all of that so far is over 30,000. And that property's been listed for what? 2 days?
2 days, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Absolutely.
If you're trying to sell a property and you want the most money and you want to close the quickest,
Yeah.
I don't know what else you're doing.
No. But let's change topics from marketing because we talked a lot about that. Well, actually, while we're on this topic, let's stay at one specific point. Let's talk about our website a little bit and
Yeah, let's do.
how we started out with a company that is absolutely world class. Like, they're on Real Trends, ranked as one of the highest real estate website developers in the entire country.
Yeah.
And
We spared no expense with the website.
No, we did not. But that's what we're doing for our clients. My true goal for this company is to create a real estate company that is world class. And it's in the little details, such as the website. if you want a company that is world class, every aspect has to be world class. Our website, how many people have commented on how good
Oh
it
man,
is?
it's been 100 probably or
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. And it's not just a very easy to look at site. The traffic that the site generates is pretty incredible. We're a company, we've only been around for a year. We're in a small town, and our website's already generating around 7,000 to 8,000 views per month.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty significant for our area.
Yeah. Just the size of town where our office is, we're basically quadruple the size of the town
No doubt.
with website views.
No doubt.
So
Yeah.
I think that says a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't want to touch on that too much. I don't want to bore y'all. So let's spin this into, why. I've talked a lot about my reasoning of why starting this brokerage. From your side,
Yeah.
what was the big factors on why you wanted to?
Well, first of all, I got tired of the corporate runaround, the corporate rat race, I guess you could call it. Mm-hmm. You try to help people and you try to do the best job you can. And I've loved some of the bosses I've worked for and the companies I've worked for. But at a certain point, you have to do what's best for that company. You're not necessarily doing what's best for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I started this to do what's best for people, my clients, people in the community,
Absolutely.
my family.
Yeah.
So, that's my driving goal. Speaking of which, my family's the most important thing in my life besides God and Jesus Christ. So I got my wife, Megan, beautiful wife, Megan. She works for NRCS out of Troy. We've got one little boy, Archer. He's 19 months now. So
Growing like a weed.
He's talking, he tells us about it all the time. We just don't always know what he's saying. But he's always telling us about it. So
He's not too clear on it.
no, not too clear sometimes. You can figure it out though if you focus hard enough,
Yeah.
But no, that's it, man. Just adding value to my clients' lives. So Justin, you said you enjoy helping your clients, helping people.
Yeah.
So what's an example of that? Like, what's a story you can tell that where you've helped somebody that otherwise wouldn't have been helped?
Yeah. So I'll specifically talk about sellers because I work with a lot of sellers now.
Yeah.
There was a family that had some family land it was very sentimental and emotional process for them. They ended up listing with another agent because that agent's commission was a little bit cheaper at the time. I didn't know that. No, if they would have came back to me, I probably could have worked something out with them.
Yeah.
But ended up going that direction. Had the property listed for a year with them. Didn't have any real hits on it, and there was some stuff going on in the family that they really needed the money for. So it was a very hard time for them. They were stressed. It expired. I reached back out to them, and they wanted to.
So the first agent couldn't sell it.
No, the first agent could not sell it.
Was it because they were cheaper? That was part of it. I'm sure.
A lot of it had to do with the marketing. It was 130 something acres. I can't remember specifically, but I think it had like 5 pictures and just it really didn't tell the story. It was a couple snapshots from the road. But reached back out to them. Very emotional, really upset. Was crying on the phone talking to me. Older lady. And decided that she was going to list with me and try it. I ended up listing it at the commission that the other agent had. Went in there, did my whole marketing process, and had the property under contract in 48 hours over asking price.
Wow.
Yep. So
Just like that.
Yep. Needless to say, she was extremely happy and extremely grateful. Still somebody that I really enjoy talking to. And it's stuff like that, I'm very thankful for my path in life, being able to learn the marketing like I am, because without it, I could not help my clients. And
would you be just like everybody else out there?
Yeah, no doubt.
Really. So we see that a lot in this industry. We'll be competing against other agents on a listing, and some of the agents are good. Some of them are just trying to get a listing, which I understand they got to feed their families. But when they're coming in low on price, and I tell people this all the time, with anything, you get what you pay for.
No doubt.
I mean, the quality of anything, usually price represents that.
Absolutely.
We may not be the cheapest game in town. We don't want to be the cheapest game in town, because if we were, we wouldn't be able to provide the service that we do and the marketing that we do.
Yeah.
Because that costs money. That costs us money out of our own pockets.
Yeah. And in turn, people think they see the higher commission and think that means less money in their pocket. But most of the time, that's not the case.
Yeah. Instead of them having to take a lower offer, they may get full asking or close to it.
Yeah. If they eat up time on the market and somebody finally comes around, they're going to negotiate hard on, this has been on the market for 200 days. And
I was in investments and banking. Time is money.
absolutely.
100% time is money. You'd rather have $100,000 earning right now on a CD or a money market 5% than sitting in a piece of property earning nothing because you're not getting any offers on it.
Yeah.
So, and real estate's a good investment. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Real estate's one of the best investments you could possibly ever make.
Yeah. Especially land.
Especially land. Land especially. Mm-hmm. But if you're trying to sell something and you need a certain price and you're getting lowballed, then you can't realize the full potential of that investment.
Yeah.
It takes time, it takes effort to squeeze the most juice out of that lemon or orange or whatever you want to call it that you're trying to do.
Yeah. And I tell pretty much everybody I talk to, don't just interview one agent. Don't go with the first agent that you meet with.
No.
Figure out which one is more cost effective for you to go with.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean the lower commission. See what all that agent has to offer, what they can bring to the table, their track record. It's a business decision.
Absolutely.
Whenever you go to sell or even buy a property, interview agents. And that's a mistake a lot of people I see make is whenever they go to buy a property, they'll just call up some random agent they know, like, hey, can you help me buy this property? And, you might luck out and get a good agent, but even in that process, you should interview a couple agents and see who best fits your specific needs on what you're looking for. Because I can tell you, if you're looking for a house in one of our bigger cities around and in a popular neighborhood, I may not be the best agent for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you're looking for some land outside of town or you're trying to buy a house on a couple acres, I may be your guy.
Yeah.
And let's sit down and see how we connect. Relationships are everything to me. So let's sit down, see how we connect on that level. Let me lay it out for you. And, if it makes sense, let's move forward. But don't just go out there and stick with the first person you come across.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to shop around for the best deal.
No doubt.
And that's another thing. We try to, when we work with you, we take a very consultative approach. Mm-hmm. We want to know what you want to accomplish, first and foremost. What is your goal? Do you want to buy this for the lowest price? Do you want to get a certain type of property? Do you want to sell for the highest price? Do you want to sell quick? What is it? We start with the end in mind, and then we work backwards from there. So how do we help you achieve that? Can you even achieve that?
Yeah. Is it realistic?
Yeah. Is it realistic?
Sometimes I surprise myself. I show up to some listings and, they want X and I can get it fairly close. And that's really where the marketing stands out. You'll be surprised what is possible with some high quality marketing. Yeah. I think one of the notable things that has happened recently is you sold a tract of land from YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah, absolutely. So that's another thing as part of that net that we cast, right? Mm-hmm. So YouTube is a big tool for us. I think YouTube is now the number one search engine.
It is.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you know more about that than I do. But so we create videos for all of our listings and put them on YouTube. And we really, long form videos, short form videos, try to tell your property story. I had a piece of property that I had listed, and it had been listed before with another agent before I was able to get it. And it sat there, wasn't able to sell. I picked it up, had some interest in it, but it kind of was one of those that it wasn't overpriced, but it was on the higher end, and it was a kind of a niche property.
A hunting property.
It was a hunting property. Yeah, it was a hunting property. Had a lot
timber investment.
timber investment. Yeah, it had a lot of good young timber on it. But anyway, I put a video up on YouTube, a couple of videos actually, and that's where the buyers. We closed on it back in April, I believe. But the buyers saw the video on YouTube, fell in love with the property, came looked at it one time, made an offer.
Yeah.
Under contract.
Where were they from?
They were from Central Florida.
6 hours from us?
Yep, about 6 hours. They had recently had a property in Kentucky that they sold and were looking to buy a little bit closer. So, you never know where that buyer's going to come from. They could come from the West Coast. They could come from Florida. They could come from New England. We see a lot of that right now, California and New York's. People are looking to move to the South because our land's cheaper, taxes are cheaper, cost of living's cheaper.
Significantly cheaper.
Everything.
Yeah.
It's just a better life.
No doubt.
So
I would agree with that 100%. I just spent some time in Atlanta recently.
Yeah.
Which I guess Atlanta's still the South, but it's a very, very poppin' place. And
it's a little different.
This is where I feel at home. This is my setting. This is where I'll be until I take my last breath.
Well, that's another thing that we kind of want to accomplish with our company is to put this place on the map.
There's a lot of like-minded people out there that we can relate to that aren't necessarily from our area and don't know the possibilities that our area has to offer.
Yeah.
And I think that's really where we're trying to reach out to them, educate, showcase our area and what it has to offer. Because most people, like the property you're specifically talking about, was in Coffee Springs, Alabama. I would have no clue what Coffee Springs, Alabama is if I was not from here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a beautiful place.
It's a beautiful place, and we got some beautiful towns around. We're an hour and a half from the beach. So, Panama City Beach in Destin, by the way, some of the most beautiful beaches in the world.
Mm-hmm. If you're ever on your way to the beach, you may drive through Sampson, Alabama, and that's where our office is.
Yeah, stop by and see us.
Yep, more than likely one of us will be up there. We'd be happy to talk to you.
Absolutely. Stop in and see us. Say you heard the podcast and you just want to meet the guys behind it.
Yep, I'll even sweeten the deal. If you stop in and tell us that you watched this podcast, and
hang on, we may need to talk about this off camera. No, I'm just kidding.
No. If you want to stop by and tell us you watched this podcast and heard about it, I'll give you a free hat and a little bit of RF Properties merch.
Swag.
Absolutely. We'll hook you up.
Yeah. You can't beat that, man.
I might even take you to lunch.
Oh, let me join you, please.
Absolutely.
We will take you to lunch if you so choose, if it's around lunchtime. If it's not, then we'll just give you a hat and you can go on your way.
Absolutely.
Hope you enjoy the beach.
Can't beat a free hat.
It's hot right now. We finally got some rain today, folks.
That's a big deal.
First time in a month or more.
Probably more. I mean, it was dry.
It was very, very dry and hot down here in Alabama. It was 101 degrees on, today's Thursday, it was 101 degrees on Tuesday and Wednesday. And just as dry as it can be, crops were starting to get damaged a little bit from the heat and dryness.
My grass was about dead.
Yeah, mine was too, which I'm not complaining about that. I don't have to cut it. But
yeah, I don't cut grass.
The crops, this is a big agricultural community, and a lot of our economy, local economy, is based on agriculture. And so anytime it's dry, it's not good around here. Mm-hmm. People in California love dry weather, and that's why they got water problems.
Yeah,
because they still got ag out there too. So anyway, we finally got some rain. Thank the Lord.
Yeah, it's good for everybody. It was starting to get too dry. Some fires were starting to break out. Farmers really needed it, and rain's a good thing.
Yeah, Luke, Brian.
Yeah.
So, Justin, what are you seeing in the market right now that you've kind of picked up on here recently?
Surprisingly, there's still a handful of serious buyers out there, even though interest rates are high.
Yeah.
The problem that I'm running into right now is there's not enough quality properties on the market. I think we're at the lowest inventory, listing inventory since, I believe, 2008. So we're seeing a market similar to that. If we had more listings, stuff would still be moving. A lot of people are just holding right now. They're very unsure. Election's coming up. Don't really know what's going to happen with that. And really, a lot of people got into these properties 4 years ago, whenever interest rates were, or 4 or 5 years ago when interest rates were extremely low, and they're ready to transition out of them. But the problem is if they go to sell it, now they're going to be at a 8 or 9% interest rate.
Yeah. If they buy something else, they got to pay a higher interest rate, and they'll have probably a big capital gain.
Yeah.
If they bought it 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's it's a lot tighter market than it was a couple years ago. Interest rates have a lot to do with that. Inflation has a lot to do with that. If you think about inflation, of course, cash deposits are going to be down, and I keep up with that a lot. My financial background. So like we've been saying, it takes marketing now, where before in the hot market, it may not have taken so much effort to sell a property.
Yeah.
Right now, it's taking a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's taking a little bit more to find buyers, properties that are looking for.
Yeah.
Just because, and I would be the same way if I'm a buyer looking for a piece of property, especially land, and I'm willing to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on it, I'm going to be pretty picky. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get something where I want it to be and what I want it to be.
No doubt.
And it's.
Yeah, one of the advantages of the market now, though, is that buyers have some say. It's not like before when interest rates were low, you pretty much had to come in at asking price or over it if you wanted a shot.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm seeing on a lot of my listings, there's a lot of negotiation happening, a lot of price dropping happening.
Absolutely.
The buyers have more say. And, interest rates are high right now, but date the rate,
Yeah.
you can always refinance. If you come across the right property for you and you can comfortably afford it at that rate, eventually at some point, rates should start to go back down, and you can always refinance. But you might not have that great rate right now, but you may be able to negotiate a significant amount off of the purchase price, or negotiate some terms that would be more favorable to you that you wouldn't be able to in another real estate market.
Yeah, absolutely. We always say marry the property, date the rate. Rates fluctuate every time. From what it's looking like, and I'm not God. I don't know what's going to happen. But from what it's looking like, the Fed's going to start considering rate cuts toward the end of this year. People have been saying that for a year now, but after the election, I think we're going to, depend on how it goes, it's possible that rates are going to start coming back down.
Yeah.
So.
What's your prediction if rates start coming back down? What's going to happen to the real estate market?
If rates come back down, we're going to have a lot of pent-up demand start to show itself again, which is good as long as people are listing.
Yeah.
If nobody's listing and the demand's high again, then we're going to have all-out bidding war for the properties that are on the market.
No doubt.
Which is good for those sellers.
Well, it goes to say if you've been thinking about selling and you see those rates starting to drop, reach out to us and see what's possible right now, because that may be the time to capitalize on some of that.
I think you're going to see values still go up.
No doubt.
Even more.
Yeah. When rates drop, there's no doubt going to be a flood of buyers. We hear it every single day. But when those buyers come back into the market, the prices are going to continue to rise.
Yeah.
The prices are still going up right now, even though the market's slower.
Yeah.
It's these last 5 years have been a weird time in real estate, but it's not slowing down anytime soon, and especially if rates start to drop. A lot of real estate professionals that get paid a lot more money than I do to talk about the ins and outs of it are saying that if rates drop even 1%, that the real estate market's going to be crazier than it was in the COVID market.
I agree. I wouldn't doubt that one bit, just because there's so many people that are sitting on the sidelines right now,
No doubt.
waiting for that to happen.
Yeah. Think about all the people that missed out on those low rates during COVID, that now that they've jumped up, they're like, well, I'm not doing that because rates were this. Yeah. And now as soon as we've gotten used to them being this high, so as soon as they start to drop, all those people are like, we got to jump on it right now. We got to go. We got to go.
And it makes a difference in, if they're financing property, they're worried about payment. So interest rates going down even 1% makes a big difference on the payment. So maybe they're just like not quite comfortable with it yet at 8% or whatever. At 7%, maybe. You know, they may be willing to jump in, and you know, it ain't gonna stretch them out too thin. So we always recommend to talk with your banker, talk with your trusted financial institution in person, and come up with a plan.
Absolutely.
Save up some money, come up with a plan.
Yep. And part of that, once you talk to your financial institution, reach out to one of us, any of our agents at RF Properties. Will do a buyer's consultation and show you what you can afford right now in the market. Once you figure out what that is, we can show you properties that are in your price range to really determine, is it worth you capitalizing in this market?
Yeah, you may say, hey, I want 100 acres of land. Well, you may have in your mind that 100 acres of land is worth what it was 10 years ago, which a lot of people still do. And there's nothing wrong with that, but we just want to show you what right now, where it's at, so you don't have unrealistic expectations going in. Once you do get approved for that $100,000 or 100 acres, you want to know that what you planning on spending on it.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're getting close to time on this. I kind of want to wrap this up by saying we're not sitting here trying to sell. We're truly passionate about what we're doing. And when I tell you I truly want to help people, that is the whole mission behind everything that we are doing here. And I believe that Bruce is the same. You know, I'm not feeding you lies. What we've told you here is what we're going to do. I want to help you. I want to help you specifically if you're listening or watching. Just reach out to us and see what RF Properties has to offer and how we could fit your specific needs. And this is no financial play for me. I've been blessed. I work extremely hard, but I tell my sellers all the time, or even when somebody makes the comment of your commission's going to be X, I don't even think about it. I do not care. I do not care. I've helped buyers for free. You know, that's not always the case, but I'm not motivated by that. I'm motivated by helping people. And in turn, you know, we make some money off of it. You know, just me being out here.
We have to feed our families just like anybody else.
Yeah, but just saying that I want to, I'm motivated by money and want to be a rich real estate agent. That's not it. I truly want to change the real estate market. I want to be a resource for the community. I want to help as many people as possible in this life that I was given. I've always wanted to help people. I was not meant for the military. I was not meant for the medical profession. Luckily, I was very, very good at digital media that transitioned into real estate, and I'm able to help people on what I'm passionate about. You know, reach out to us and experience what it's like to work with a good team of agents.
Absolutely. We'd love to work for you. We'd be honored and blessed.
No doubt.
While we wrap this up, we want to talk this week about our featured property, which is 105 acres on Pea River, south of Sampson, Alabama.
Fantastic property.
Beautiful hunting property. It's got 3/4 mile of river frontage on Pea River, 105 acres, lots of wetlands on it, so it's good for duck hunting. Lots of big deer, ducks, turkeys, hogs.
Tell them about the sandbar.
Huge sandbar on the south end, and as dry as it is right now, it should be even bigger. But beautiful, beautiful spot to camp, take your family, pull the boat up, you know, wood line.
Drop a link to this property in the show notes below.
Yeah.
But I think one thing that really stands out about this property in today's market, any market, a property on the river, 105 acres, right? Mm-hmm. What's the asking price?
$275,000. That's $2,600 roughly dollars per acre.
$2,600 per acre.
Yeah. Good luck finding another property on the river for that.
Yeah, no doubt. But
beautiful place. Call me if you want to see it, 334-248-1004, or shoot me a text.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love to get you in that property before hunting season.
Yes. Huge deer on there.
Yep.
I'm just going to say that.
Yep.
We'll send you pictures of them.
No doubt. Property owner laid out some food plots. Didn't get the chance to plant them.
So. Pushed up some food plots after the hunting season this past year. Widened out a couple of them. Pretty good road system going back in there. So it's a river property. So it is in the Class A FEMA floodplain. Mm-hmm. But if you like hunting, don't let that stop you, because it's an excellent hunting property.
Especially if you like duck hunting.
Especially duck hunting.
Yeah, it's incredible.
We've seen ducks every time just about we've gone down there.
Yeah. You can duck hunt, deer hunt, hog hunt. You can go
Turkey hunt.
fishing. Oh, turkey hunting. That's a big
Yeah.
one. There was turkey tracks on the sandbar.
They've killed several turkeys on that track.
Yeah. You can go fishing, catfish, brim.
Pea River is known for its red-eye bass, brim, and catfish. So if you enjoy freshwater fishing,
Yeah.
it's a pretty good spot. Right now, especially because the river's low, you find those deep holes that hold the fish, and you can load the boat.
Yeah.
So give us a call.
Yeah. Give us a call. Fantastic property.
Well, we thank you for joining us for episode 1 of the RF Properties podcast. We enjoy getting to know you a little bit better. If we can ever help you out in any way, give us a call. What's the number, Justin?
334-245-0763.
That's 334-245-0763. Or visit our website,
rfpropertiesforsale.com.
We're going to cut that out. Okay.
No, we're going to leave it. Well, we appreciate y'all, and we will see y'all in the next one.
Later.